Hey everyone, sorry for the wait. I was really busy last weekend taking the pre-SAT and doing a lot of homework. And this weekend I spent a lot of time making this Venesaur for you all. So obviously this is a tutorial on how to make your very own Rainbow Loom Venesaur. I will warn you that this took me 3 hours total. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way that I had to go back and fix. So that can account to some of the time. But I managed to put it all into a 25-minute video, which is incredible. Don't mind the cat in the corner of the frame right here, or the Kleenex box. That is what I use as a backdrop. So you will need blue-green bands, red bands, green bands, pink bands, yellow bands, and brown bands. And I think it turned out actually okay, except for the part where it's not standing up. But it's really cute, so I'm going to tell you all how to make this now. We're going to start off with the legs. You're going to need 4 of these, 2 for the front and 2 for the back. We're going to start off with the traditional flower shape that I use in basically everything we do here on the channel. But you're going to basically choose a center peg and make sort of a flower shape onto the surrounding pegs. And that will be the base of what we're going to make. So make sure there's room for the cap band, which will be wrapped around 3 times. And then we're going to put everything onto itself like I'm doing here. Make sure you go in order, otherwise it will not look right. It should look like a flower or a sun almost. So now we're going to take one white band, wrap it around your hook 3 or 4 times. The tighter the better, but also the harder to get onto the bands. So we're going to take that, just any peg really, but I like to use that one because it's clearly in the center. Going to drag it onto the peg bands there, and that is row 1. You're going to want to make 6 or 5 rows for the leg total, but first we're going to take another white band, wrap it around your hook 4 or 3 times, the same amount as you did with the other one. Pull it onto 2 bands, the color of the leg, and then put it adjacent to the one you just put on. And then you're going to do the exact same thing for the other side, and now we're going to fill in the rest of the row. At this point, or at any point really, you're going to want to get rid of that peg in the middle of the leg because it'll get in the way. So what you're going to do is take the band off as I did there, and you're going to want to move it to the side, then move the center row thing. Okay, we're going to do another row, and then another row. So this is row 3, row 4, row 5. Here I did 6 rows, but I changed it to 5, so that's what I would definitely recommend. But the length of the leg is up to you. We're going to take that off and put it to the side, and you're going to need 4 of those, so make those. Now we're going to make the flower in the middle of the Venesaur. So you're going to start off with 1 yellow band wrapped around 3 or 4 times there. Then take 2 yellow bands and pull those onto there. You're going to need 5 of those, so make those really quickly. Now we're going to make the flower petals. So this is kind of lengthy. We're going to need 5 of these flower petals total. And while you're making this, you're going to want to be very careful as to not stretch the bands out too much, because one of mine did break and I had to start the entire thing over. Not the entire flower petal, but the entire flower. It was great. So you're going to want to start out with 1, then branched out into 3, then going down the row, I think 3 or 4 times, and then coming together. So we'll just go through it slow quick once, just so you can get a feel for it. And total, it's 6 pegs will be used, including the very first one and the last one. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 6. Now we're going to close it up. And then you're going to take 1 band and use it as the cap band in a moment here. Yes. And wrap it around the ending peg 3 times. But before you build it, as I'm about to do, this is an example of what not to do. See, I started building it without doing any framework in between the flower, which is incorrect. And I don't realize it until after I do the first one, so sorry about that. But you're going to want to go in order when you do it, which is what I was doing. But then I realized, nope. So if you did that too, you can just put those to the side. But you're going to want to take one pink band, wrap it around your finger once, and then put it on in a triangle, and do that for the rest of the flower petal. So there should be 4. Now you can put those back on, and then you can build the rest of it. Okay, now we're going to take it off. Now we're going to start building the actual flower. So we're starting off with a flower shape. It's basically the leg. So there's our flower shape, doing everything I did with the leg. Now we're going to take the yellow things and put them on. So this is kind of like the pollen, I guess. If you look at a picture of Venesaur, it'll have those yellow things there. So we're going to slide them onto each peg like so. So your sun will now have yellow rays coming off of it. I guess that's one way to look at it. Okay, now that we've got that, we're going to take the flower petals, and this is kind of tricky, but you're going to take it so that it's horizontal instead of vertical. So take 2 of the bands, put them on horizontally, and you should have that. And then we're just going to do a row of brown after you bring everything under the flower petals up and over. So I had already done it, but now you're having the row of brown, and then you're going to bring the flower petals up and over. So now we're going to do another row of brown, and we're going to do a bunch of rows of browns. So I'll tell you how many rows it is as we go along. So this is 1 row. This is the second row of brown. This is the third. This is the fourth. Okay, finally we're done. I'm just gonna put everything onto a pencil because I don't have a spare hook. Okay, now we're going to take our loom. We're going to make the leaves. So you'll need 3 or 4 of these leaves. Really, this Venusaur is very customizable, so just do however you want. And you're just going to make a big long row of green. I wouldn't recommend making it as long as I did, maybe 1 shorter. But then you're going to branch out from that row on both sides. So that's me doing one side, including the ending peg. And then you're going to branch out from the other side. Now we're going to put a cap band on every branch and wrap it around 3 or 4 times. Just make sure it's really tight, but do it on every one. Now you're just going to build it by pulling the branches through the cap bands and then pulling the main thing in the middle through that, and you're just gonna do that the entire way down. But make sure you go in order so that you have both branches onto the middle pegs before you do the next one down, if that makes sense. And then we're gonna take it off. And that's 1 leaf, and you need 3 or 4, it's just whatever you want. But we're going to pull 2 bands through all of the stuff at the bottom. You could have just put something at the bottom, but I didn't this time. I did with my other ones though. So I would recommend doing that instead. So just put that to the side. I put mine on my loom. Okay, now we're going to actually start making the Venusaur. So you're going to want to clear out a big space on your loom and only use 2 of the rows. And then we're going to take single blue bands and twist them onto themselves and then twist them onto the loom. So do that the whole way, not the whole way down, but quite a bit down. And there should be a clear center. So 2 pegs in the center will make a clear center, in my opinion. Okay, so then take 2 red bands, twist them onto your hook 3 or 4 times. I did 4 times. I would recommend 3 times. Then we're going to slide them onto the blue bands. Make sure there's a blue band to either side of them, and that they're not exactly next to each other, but they're not exactly on the edge, if that makes sense. And do the exact same thing with the other side. So take 2 red bands, twist them onto the hook 3 or 4 times. However many you did on the other side, do it for that one too. And then just slide them onto these blue bands. And sorry for the bad focus, by the way. I'm hopefully getting a new camera soon. So, okay, now we're going to make the ears. Take 2 blue bands, wrap them around your hook 3 or 4 times. I did 3. Then take 3 blue bands and pull whatever is on your hook onto those 3 blue bands, like so. So you should have something that looks like that. Then you're going to pull those through 2 blue bands, and these are the ears. You're going to need 2 of them. But we're not putting them on yet. Right now, just do a row on top of what you have on your loom right now. We just needed to make the ears. And put everything up and over. There should only be 2 bands you're bringing up and over. Now we're going to do another row. So this is row 2. Bring everything up and over. There should be 4 bands now. Okay, now we're going to put the ears on. On the corners, decide which side is the top. It should be one of the long sides, but put them on the corners like so. And then I forgot to put it on that corner, but I went back and fixed it. But we're going to just fill in the row. See, I fixed it. So, put the ears on the corners. Yeah, fill in the row, and then bring the 4 bands on the bottom up and over. Then do another row. So a lot of this is just going to be plain rows of blue. And another row. So I think this is row 4. This is row 4. Okay, so you should have something like that. Bar the focusing problems, yeah. And it should be pretty deep. Now we're going to shrink. So, my finger movements there. But I was just saying, you need to put those bands onto there and the same on the other side. So, this is how we shrink. We move the bands from one peg to another peg, just like that. And then, make sure you get all of them. Wow, the focus is really bad. Then bring the 4 bands that were originally there. You can just bring those up and over. Or you can bring all 8 up and over the next row. But then we're just going to do 1 row like that, just to make a defined neck. Okay, now we're going to expand. So we're going to take 2 bands from each corner peg. You're going to want to make sure it's the bands connected to the thing I was pointing to. See how those are connected to the peg next to it? They want to be connected to the peg above it. So the one in that corner is wrong, so I'm going to fix that. See, I have one from each peg, from the left and from the bottom. So if that happens to you, yeah, you just want to get those. So if that happens to you, just take one at a time. So that one seems to be connected to the one on the bottom, so I put it over there. And those 2 are clearly connected to that one. So I put the one left over on the peg to the right, and then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So that one is very clearly connected to the bottom one. And so you should have something like that. Now we're going to put a row on. And when you bring them up and over, the 2 pegs on each side should have 2 instead of 1. But we're going to do the exact same thing again, so it's even easier to see now. Okay, so now I got my leg ready because we're going to put it on. So take 3 or 2, just make sure the claws on the leg, not claws, but toes on the leg are facing forward. However you do this, they should all just be facing the same way. So for me, it was putting 3 on like that, then drag 2 bands through there, and then we're going to put that on our loom, just like that. So yeah. Then you should do the same thing on the other side and then fill in the row. So make sure you don't put anything where the legs are. Just skip over those. So I did this part wrong, but you just pull those 2 bands through. Just pull those 2 bands through whatever you have left. But let me see where I did it wrong. Okay. Never mind that, apparently. So we'll get to that. So take one of your leaves and put your stem on something like that. Not stem, but flower. And we're just going to put those two or 3 parts of the, I don't know how to say this, of the flower onto the leaf like that. So it'll go on the Venesaur's head like that. And then you should have 3 pegs left over on your flower, or 2, but I chose to have 3. So then you put the leaf, you just slide it onto those 2 pegs in the center. That's why I said you needed center pegs. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. That was really hard putting it back on. And then it'll be kind of to the right, so you're gonna want to fix that in a moment. So just slide it over there like that. Yeah, I'm good at this. I've got this. And then you just put all of the other green ones on there. So you should end up something like that. Yeah, it should, so you can't see, but it should look like that from a weird angle. Okay, there we go, that's a good angle. So, head kind of creepy. I still love it anyways. I hope you love it too. So, now, if it'll focus, there we go. It's focused. Now what am I doing now? Okay. Oh, I'm putting everything onto a pencil so I can use my hook. That's right. Pencils are really useful. So fill in the row. I guess I didn't do anything wrong here. Okay, my bad. Because when I was editing this, I thought I did something. Okay, never mind. But just do everything I did, and you'll be fine. So you should have something like that. Okay, now we're going to make lots of room on our hook. That's for sure. Oh, and get the other leaf. That's right. And then you're going to take approximately half of the bands on your pencil or whatever you're using to keep that in. And you're going to put those onto your hook with the leaf. And you're going to slide the leaf onto them. So make sure the leaf is facing the way you want it to. I like it curving down on my Venesaur. So just get it all situated, and then you'll see, and then, okay, I'll just tell you now then. Get 2 blue bands and pull the brown bands onto the blue bands. Yeah, and then we're going to put that next to the very center. So like I'm doing there. So that'll kind of make it wider when it's actually done. It'll look good. So then just take whatever's left over and put another leaf onto there, and then put everything through 2 blue bands, and then put it not next to the one we just put on, but one space away from it. So that there's a space in between them, and that space is the center of the entire thing. If that makes any sense, I hope it does. But just pull it through 2 blue bands. Yeah, I know what I'm saying. Don't worry. So you should have something like this, and then we're just going to fill in the row and bring everything up and over like we always do. So if this is too fast for you, I'm sorry. You can always slow it down, right? Yeah, okay. So here I'm pushing the legs through so that they don't get in my way when I loom. So it should look something like that. And then do the same with the other one. Yeah, so they'll kind of be sticking out to the sides like that. Not how I expected them to look. I was a little bit disappointed, but I'm happy with the way it turned out. Oh, what was that? Okay, never mind. But put another row on. But before you put all of it on, we're putting on the back legs. Sorry. So do the exact same thing you did with the front legs with the back legs. Maybe this is where I messed up. But fill in the row, then do the other back leg. And I personally pulled 2 blue bands through there so it would be okay. And then once you have the entire row filled in, you're gonna wanna bring everything up and over, and then you can just put those two blue bands of the rest of the back leg on already so that they're out of your way. When you're doing the part around the flower, just be careful. That's all I have to say. So we're gonna do another row, this time completely attaching the back legs to the body, and we're gonna bring everything up and over again, as always. And we're almost done, so I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so that's how you make a rainbow loom Venusaur. I hope you didn't get too lost at the end or frustrated, but all you had to do is take all of the bands off and put them onto 2 blue bands. I already described how to do that just now. So thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe if you liked this video. Also give it a like. That would be very helpful. The like goal for this video is 5, which I know seems low, but recently we've been getting not very many likes on our videos. So let's try to make that a little bit more. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you come back soon. Bye.